Hi! Thank you very much for tuning back in. My name is Fonny. In my channel, I talk about my houseplant and my Hoyas. In today's video, it is a continuous video on my Hoya Bloom series. If you do not want to miss out next time, I post new videos on my Hoya Bloom experience and documentary. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out next time. In today's video, I want to feature a Hoya that I have kept for a relatively longer time. It's slightly over a year. It has always been a heavy bloomer for me. And I also think it is a relatively easy Hoya to care for. So if you want to know an easy Hoya bloomer and also an easy to take care of Hoya, then you should keep on watching. And today's featuring Hoya is this huge basket. This one is Hoya Krohniana SUPER Eskimo. As you can see, the leaves are very silvery, and the most interesting part is the heavy blooming characteristic. I'm going to just pan it. You can see all of these buds and peduncle. I am not kidding. It's just way too many. And also there are new buds all over the place. Like new buds like here, this one, there are like 3 buds over here. It's just also a very heavy Hoya for me to just hold like this, but you can see this one is how it looks like when it opened up, like a very fuzzy one. And in today's video, I'm going to go through my journey with Hoya Krohniana, particularly on the flowering process that it has. So I will start with the peduncle formation and also the flowering process it has. Right, let me just pop this back to the hanging basket because I'm very sore on my arms at the moment. Yeah. Starting off with the peduncle formation, it took me around maybe a month only since I bought it from the nursery. So I got it as a full plant. It has a lot of tendrils and also a lot of stems within the same pot. So it's not a cutting. So I believe it is a mature plant, but it needs to acclimate to my environment in order for it to grow and then grow peduncle. So I would say I'm pretty surprised at the time when I bought it because it is around maybe 4 stem for pot of Hoya Krohniana, and after a month time I see a very tiny dot that formed in between 2 leaves. You can identify the peduncle based on the shape. For new leaf grown, you can see a bit pointy on the end of the new growth point. But if it is peduncle, you can see that it is more rounded. So that's how I guess it was a peduncle. So here, the process of the peduncle formation takes around 1 month to grow from a new tiny peduncle to spur that have buds on. As you can see, this is a very tiny new growth of a new peduncle. As you can see, this is also on the same node that potentially leaf could grow on the tendril. And most of the time it will grow right next to leaves. As you can see, this one is an example. Here, there is another peduncle that is newly formed. After, I would say, a week, it will slowly grow to this form. You see that this one here is still relatively short in the peduncle, but you slowly can see some green tiny dots on the tip. This means that there are buds forming on on the existing peduncle. And after a week, you will see this formation. The peduncle has grown even longer. Obviously, this is a peduncle that has already grown flowers on before, because you can see the spur has a little bit of marks on, which means that flowers has grown. But this is an example to show you how is the process like for the formation of peduncle. And after maybe another 2 weeks, you will see a little bit more. This one here is another example of the status of the peduncle. This one here, you see the bud slowly grown longer, and you can see it very, very round on the bottom. And this peduncle is also an existing peduncle that has grown multiple times of new buds. Then we move on to the flowering period. I have flowered Hoya Krohniana SUPER SILVER multiple times. It is relatively long-lasting, I would say. Maybe it's around 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks. It depends how moist you provide the soil substrate. Obviously, you shouldn't provide a damp soil substrate, but if you keep the soil substrate to be moist over 2 weeks' time, the peduncle and the flower will stay flowering for a longer period of time. So yeah, 2 weeks would be a safe reference point for you. And then we move on to the flower scent. It is a really, really good flower for you if you want to have a floral scent around your apartment or house. Because I remember the first night it opened up, it's immensely smell like a very strong scent floral perfume. Particularly at night, I remember when I went back home from the outside, I opened my door and then immediately a very strong floral scent just emerged the entire apartment. And my first guess was, okay, I think the Krohniana SUPER SILVER has opened up. And then I just rushed to see it, and then I saw the flower bud has opened, and it's just really fresh, strong floral scent. It's very pleasant to smell, so I don't think it would be a nuisance if you think it will be too strong. I think it is okay. However, if it comes to like 4 or 5 peduncle open up at the same time, you may want to open your window a little bit, so then it won't be too condensed. Yeah, and then we move on to the flower shape. You can see the Hoya Krohniana SUPER SILVER has fuzzy corolla. The corolla is around maybe 5 millimeters large for each flower. And you see that the corona is very light color as well. The corona, it's pretty much the same color as the pedicel here. It's a yellowish green color. And the contrast between the corona and the corolla isn't that much, but it looks very pretty when it comes to the fuzziness together with the light yellow color corona. The center is a bit orange, and the peduncle is around 1.5 centimeters long, and the pedicel is probably 1 centimeters long as well. So the entire umbel has around maybe 10 to 15 flower buds. Lastly, on the Peduncle Nature, good news is Hoya Krohniana SUPER SILVER is a rebuddable peduncle, which means that in the same peduncle, as long as the spur is still attached, it will be able to reflower over and over again. And obviously you shouldn't cut off the alive peduncle after it has finished flowering. It may take around a month for new buds to form on the spur again. But if it is in spring or summertime when the condition is optimal, new flower bud could actually form right after the older flower has dropped off. You can see a very little tiny dot on the end with a bit of light green color on the tip of the spur. Those are signs of new bud forming. It may not be able to push out right away. It could dry off and die, but it just needs a bit more time to settle back in and then to rebud up again. These are the information I'd like to share with you in terms of Hoya Krohniana Super Eskimo flowering process. If you have any questions with regard to the care tips, or you have any suggestion for me keeping this Hoya, let me know in the comment box down below. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out next time when I post new content. Until next time, I wish everyone is having a good day and stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye!